Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It all depends on where you watch it from. And today we have some news. Then we have to start with the first one, which is Obasanjo insists Peter Obi is better than Atiku, Tinubu, Kwakwaso, and SOWORE, and others. So, in this episode or bulletin, the former president of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, has insisted that the Labour presidential candidate, Peter Obi, is better than others contesting to succeed Buhari. So he was also saying that it's only unpatriotic and bad Nigerians that will canvass vote or vote for a candidate with bad character. So all this, he said, was taking place in Abuja, the capital of Ogun State, while featuring in an interactive session of the experiential leadership in Africa. The former president maintained that Peter Obi was his preferred candidate for the presidency while reacting to his New Year message where he expressed support for the Labour candidate. Obasanjo insisted that he did not use the word endorse, but he only gave his opinion on the candidates. So he said, whether the letter is open or not, what I believe is that I will be punished by God if I know what is right and do not put it where it should be. The word I use is that one particular candidate has an edge over others. So taking everything together, I take the character, track record, vision, and what you see in the man as a child of God. You see, I said they all claim to be my mentees. And of course, I won't deny that. But if you are my mentee, you must also you must also admit that I know you a little bit, according to his word. These are his words, not mine. And if I then know them a little bit, I must be right to say I have done this before. I said President Buhari does not understand the economy. And that is true. Buhari Buhari's understanding of foreign affairs is also very limited because when he was military head of state, he said his front line does not go beyond the borders of Nigeria. That is a pity. See, but what then do you have? I wrote a letter that was almost 6.5 pages long, and then only one that is only had one sentence, which is why should you, as a Nigerian, vote for someone whose character, reputation, and life you will not want your children to have? He continued, say you are either wicked, unpatriotic, or a truly awful citizen of this country. And if this is who you are, what do you want God to do with you? See, for the last 3 days, I've had about 35 youths who I have been talking to, and they have all told me that education, security, corruption are what they are concerned much more about. The question is, who then can fix this? So that was Obasanjo talking. So from his own point of view, like he has said openly that he did not support the other candidates apart from Peter Obi, whom he saw as a person of character and the fear of God. So you can't take that away from him. So it's Obasanjo talking. So anything when he talk, from your own point of view. So you can't beat him to that. He has been there, he has seen it all. So somehow, when it comes to power play at the center, you have the right to make his own contributions and say what he feels or what he thinks without nobody actually trying to condemn him or belittle him simply because he's not in power right now. He has been there before, twice, or let's say three times, as a military head of state, and first time as a civilian, and second time as a civilian. So let's put it that way. So he has seen it all, whether with absolute power as a military dictatorship or what have you, or under a democratic dispensation. So that was how you know how he was able to digest that issue with others who were willing to learn one or two things from him. So but the second one, we have to go to the second one now. It has to do with the presidential candidates coming together to sign a peace pact at the Sheraton Hotel. Sorry, what they call it, Transhitin Hotel in Abuja yesterday. So there was Abdusalam, the 1999 Constitution 419, and the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, Matthew Kuka, Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammadu Abubakar III, and John Momo, the chairman of Channel Television Station. So Shawari was also there. So something happened, something came up, and when Abdul Salam asked Shawari to make up with uh, Al Mustafa, the man that was accused to have killed Abiola's wife, if you still remember, during the Abacha days, who is now running for president under another democratic, you know, party umbrella, whatever. So that was when Shawari stood up and said that he don't have any personal grudge against Al Mustafa. That what he have with him is a political disagreement. That so long he was a part of the military era that cancelled the June 12 election, that he don't have anything to do with him. Let's just make it simple, So, but you don't have anything personal. So, and that includes Abdul Salam himself, who was there. He told him straight up to his face. So Abdul Salam was just kind of saying, that was about 20 years ago. Why don't we just forget these things and move on and what have you and things like that. You know, that Ishawari should go on like that with that kind of register, which means that very soon, if Shawari should become the president, that people like him will not be in the country anymore. So I don't know what he meant by that. So he should tell us what he meant by that. I don't have to answer to me, or I'll explain what he meant. So, but everyone that have their own point and their own explanation to what he meant by that can actually narrate that. So, but one thing that I found very interesting yesterday on that issue is that the whole panel were made up of Northerners, actually. You know, they just took that man from Sokoto and the Archbishop, you know, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, they just put him there just to make it look like, they are representing Christians and Muslims and things like that. But when you look at the whole thing, the whole setup, they were all Northerners, you know. Two of them from Sokoto to start with, then Niger State, which is Abdul Salam, you know. So, and John Momo, okay, a Southerner, but he's a businessman, who was a television station, perhaps, that was covering them. And then Dangote himself was there, another Northerner. So I don't really know what that country is about. So they should be sensitive sometimes when they do some things and think about others without thinking about themselves alone. It's like the Northerners trying to broker peace, and at the same time, the Northerners trying to, everything has to be, just because Buhari is in power right now, everything has just to be, evolving just around the Northerners. And the NH chairman was also there, a Northerner. So how many Southerners of value, or how many Southerners of political value, were there in that panel? Apart from bringing Tinubu, who is the presidential candidate, that was there at the front row. Then this man was there to represent Atiku, Okowa, as a VP to PDP candidate and what have you. Then the rest were shoved to the back. So the men that were not supposed to give any speech, as far as the purpose of the meeting, which is the peace accord and whatever, were shoved to the side, like PDP, APC, and the rest, kind of thing. So that was where Shawore stood up and said that this is not fair. That they shouldn't be doing this. That why would they be giving special preferences to some others? Why the other parties or party candidates are shoved to the side? For example, the AAC, which is Shawore, that is Shawore party, and the Kola Abiola party, PRP, you know. So they were all shoved to the side, which means they've already decided that, even before the meeting, before the election, that these people are not important in this discussion. They are only here just to, you know, just to warm the chairs, or to feed the hall, to give the whole thing the cover, like, full representation of what have you and things like that. So that is what I saw there yesterday. So it was really, really, really disgusting somehow, to a certain extent. So let me just read some portion of the whole thing there. It says some dignitaries attended a meeting between the National Peace Committee (NPC) with political parties and their presidential candidates. So he said in Niger News reports that the meeting held at the Transport Hilton Hotel in Abuja was to review the conduct of political parties and work towards maintaining peace ahead of the elections. Present at the meeting include former head of state and NPC chairperson ABDUSALAMI Abubakar, Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Kuka, Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammadu Abubakar III. And this one remind me again, and people, and when Shawore said anybody that was in the military, as at the time uh, Abiola's election was annulled, that he is against them, that he don't want to do it, he don't have anything to do with them. That brings to mind again that Alhaji Muhammadu Abubakar III, which is now the Sultan of Sokoto, was also in the military as at that time. He only retired or resigned, I think resigned also, or whatever it is, it was. During the Obasanjo era, 2000, I think 17 or 2016, thereabout, just before Obasanjo just finished his term. That was when this man left the military. I still remember vividly, So you can imagine. So he was a part of that satanic constitution, 1999 constitution. I don't know whether it was even formulated before then, and thrown under, brought out from under the shelf and stuff like that for Abubakar Salami to Abdusalam Abubakar Salami, to finish up. So that cut and paste constitution should be thrown into the dustbin, as far as I'm concerned, because it doesn't represent the people. It represents a certain portion of that country, which just maybe a quarter of that country, a quarter. So the rest of the three quarter, where are they represented? They're not represented anywhere else. So let me read on again. It said also present at the meeting were the presidential candidate, including Bola Tinubu of the APC, Omoyele Sowore of the African Action Congress, and Kola Abiola of the PRP. Other persons at the event were Festus Okoye of the INEC, Shetima the running mate of Tinubu, and Okowa, the running mate of Atiku, then national chairman of APC, former Sokoto governor, this former governor of Sokoto, Tambuwa. So looking at these people are very funny. Anyway, look at their faces. Look, Northerner, 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 Northerner. One, two, three, four, five. Do you see any Southerner there? No. Even their hangabout at the back. Look at them. It's their voice. And this is supposed to be a national thing. This is very, very funny and disgusting, actually. And nobody is saying anything. I start to wonder what is going on. What the hell is going on in that country? Huh? Huh? Now, coming to look at these pictures again, they analyze. This is my representing INEC chairman, I guess, because this is Festus Sukoye, and this is the Delta State governor, who is the VP to Atiku. Then here is Tinubu, and here is the APC chairman. There's no PDP chairman there. APC chairman is there, you know. So this is the front row where you're supposed to see all the political parties and their candidates running. Not the not the political party chairman to start with. Look at them. These are the people that want to, share Nigerians' wealth by all means possible without the people's consent. Here you see ABDUSALAMI, the 419 of the 1999 Constitution, and you still, looking at his giraffic neck in anything that has to do with politics and democracy in Nigeria. This man should be in jail, or somehow he should be hiding his face somewhere where no one can see. So, but as they are very shameless. They don't really have any mind. Neither do they have the people's at heart. So they are not ashamed of anything that they've done. So you can see where Tinubu was shaking hands with Okowa there, some camarade, sheep and what have you. Then you look at these two men, they were all from APC, they now jumped to PDP, then they call himself PDP. Look at him, look at his eyes, a criminal. Very cunning man. Then you see this other old man who's supposed to be in retirement. They are all dying to be, in the limelight as far as politics is concerned in Nigeria. And they said the future is for the youth. When would that be? You see, after after the youth must have been shot because they are demonstrating for their right or what? So you go help Nigeria. You go save us from these old hawks and desperate people. So that was how that went. So the next topic that we have here will be that he said Buhari government must release Nnamdi Kanu immediately and unconditionally. This was being said by Ohaneze Igbo. He said the Elders Council of Ohaneze Igbo called on Buhari-led government to release the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, immediately and unconditionally. He said Nigerian news reports that the call was made by the chairman of the council, Manuel Iwanyanwu, in a communique to address on Friday, according to the Council of Elders. The release of pro-Biafra agitator would facilitate a peace summit that will lead to peace in the southeast region. Iwanyanwu said the council took a decision on the need to have a peace summit. He said it goes with the desire that Nnamdi Kanu should be released because we want to dialogue with his participation in order to have an enduring peace in Nigeria, particularly in Southeast. The council therefore called on the federal government and all other persons concerned to release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. You see, the issue of Nnamdi Kanu actually is a very worrisome this thing that this man still have to be in jail even after the Supreme Court of Nigeria, even after the a court in Nigeria has already, find this man not guilty, and in fact, discharged and acquitted of all accused, all that he was accused of. You know, so a country that tends to be practicing democracy up till now just cannot even abide to the rules of the land, and yet this person is still in power there. What kind of authoritarian society are we living in? And nobody is doing anything about it. It's like, they just want this man dead first before they incite another or bring the country to, a very different this thing altogether. Because the youth who this man represent, the youth alone, I'm not talking of even the elders that he represent, they are more than, let's say, even 50 million. So if there's a political candidate, for example, that have 50 million followers, what would you call that person? 50 million followers, for example, and youth for that matter, what will you call that person? In any country, that person will be given all due respect. Because, for example, if this guy were to be running for a senatorial position in his own senatorial district, I guess he will clear that vote either with 80% or at least 70%, which means he will be a senator. He'll be making laws for the federal government, I mean for the country at large, and represent his people's this thing very well, mandate. So just imagine if this man were to be a governorship candidate also. Do you think he won't win? Forget about politics, all these dirty politics and stuff like that. Under normal circumstances, he will win due to the followership that he has and the appeal that he has. You know, so that kind of a man, you are holding him just for what? You want to hold him till you leave office to satisfy your cabals and things like that. And on the side, you still send men to him to be begging him that, hey, you have to denounce your agitation. If you sign this one, then we'll release you. Man said no. You have the right not to. So, my people, please do something before something do also. We have to rise up and stop this madness of this useless and undemocratic governance once and for all. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please don't fail to subscribe and don't fail to give us a thumbs up. We bless you. God bless you. See you again very soon. Thank you very much.